Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We're at 18685 Southwest Hennig Court here in Beaverton. We're located to just to the left of the front doorway. That's as you face the house from the street or stare at the front of it. Got a 4-inch cast iron cleanout just to the left here. It's about 1.5 feet to the left of the concrete steps. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water's running, off we go. Alrighty, we've got a cool sewer line here. I mean, as far as old original piping goes, your solid cast iron here all the way out to, it looks like the right-of-way or street edge. Now we're just finally swapping over to concrete. Camera is upside down at the moment. Typically this era of home, we would be in concrete pipe within about 5 feet of dropping into the sewer line, and most likely this line would just be root intrusion city with all the foliage in here. So it's a nice thing that they did this, and it's very unique and a rare thing. Maybe 5% of homes in this era are set up this way. The plus side too is by the time you get the concrete pipe, which is more susceptible to root intrusions, the concrete's starting where there's hardly any foliage around it. So anyway, there's the main there at 90 feet. We're going to locate really quick here while the pipe drains off, and then we'll pull back in. All right, got the camera head located. Line terminates out on Southwest Hennig Court. And where I picked that locate up, it lines up with the manhole. There's a manhole kind of to the right of the driveway. That's as you're facing into the property from the street. It's just a little bit further away from it, from that point, or further from the house than where that manhole is. But it's in line with where that's at. If that makes any sense. And where I pick the locate up, turn around and look back at the house, I'm staring right at the middle of the driveway. So the line does appear to run down the driveway a bit. And one thing I will tell you, not that this concrete pipe is at a point where it needs updating yet, but it's concrete pipe. And after doing 25,000 sewer scopes and lots of repairs and drain cleaning, all that good stuff over the years, with the advent of epoxy lining that's come onto the scene, which is a trenchless repair system, it behooves you these days to keep an eye on this older concrete pipe. Its weak point are the joints. Now, sorry if I had to stop the video there for a second. Anyway, back to what I was talking about there with the concrete pipe. The concrete pipe as it sits right now flows very nicely. It's in very fair condition for its age, doing its job. Back to what I was saying about the pipe joints. The pipe joints are the weakest point in concrete pipe. They're grouted typically. As time goes on, that grout can slowly but surely wear out. And over time, the joints can become exposed to the ground. It's worth your time and money to rescope periodically on lines like this. I generally recommend you do that about every 2 years to monitor the line for signs that the joints are becoming exposed to the ground. If we start seeing any signs of dirt intruding through the pipe joints, groundwater seepage, or things of that nature that show us the joints are exposed to the ground at that point, that's where you want to start considering the prospect of doing something like an epoxy liner. And you can fix it however you want to, but out in this part of town, unless something has changed recently, you're responsible all the way to the main lateral, all the way out into the street. The cost difference of lining this kind of pipe, this is not tomorrow, this is down the road, but if you're here a while, it's something you want to keep an eye on. But the cost difference in updating this stuff trenchlessly versus digging is humongous in a case like this, where it's all under concrete. Very, very, it's deep. It's a huge trench across the road. We're talking 2 to 3 times the cost of lining versus trenching. So it's one of those things to keep an eye on periodically and watch for, so you can take advantage of a much nicer repair process when that day comes. All right, just did another locate there just for the sake of drawing a diagram where the line goes. So right now we're sitting just barely to the left of the center line that goes up and down the driveway, right down the middle of the driveway. For all intents and purposes, basically runs right down the middle. I don't think it spans the entire top to bottom of the driveway. I think it cuts into the driveway about a third of the way down it. And on top of everything else, again, I'm not trying to make you think updates are tomorrow. Cast iron is also one of those things that can be updated trenchlessly as well. You've got a lot of sewer pipe on this property that's under some kind of concrete, whether it's the walkway, the driveway, or the street. So it's just a good idea to rescope periodically and keep an eye on things. And a lot of the times when those joints start to get exposed to the ground, usually settling issues, and that's what I'm getting at, is those joints over time, if they start to expose the ground, it can cause hydro erosion by sucking the dirt out from underneath the pipe. That's where you can get hydro erosion that leads to settling issues, bellies, offset joints, things of that nature. It can also cause settling to the ground above the pipe. But you can save yourself from a much bigger headache if you just keep an eye on the line periodically. As this thing sits here today, it functions very nicely. Very clean line. There's no scale buildup in the cast iron. Zero buildup hardly at all. So we have great flow end to end here. We're pulling the camera out right now. All the pipe we scoped there, all of it is original piping, but it is in good condition for its age. Zero settling that's occurred. Good flow all the way out. Sewer line is functioning properly at this time. Nice looking old sewer line there.